there, I am Anne LaFollette, and welcome to this week's broadcast. This week, I want to talk about the 3 business gurus who changed my life. And before I jump into who they are and why they have had such an incredible impact on my life, I want to talk to you a little bit about my one word for 2020. So my one word for 2020 is intention. And I want to be more intentional in my personal life, more intentional in my creative practice, and also more intentional in terms of what I deliver for you, my creative community. Now, when I got laid off from my fancy corporate job, and many of you have heard this story before, I did not know what I was going to do next. It really threw me for a loop. And I had to figure out how to be resilient and how to get back up and dust myself off and figure out what I was going to do next because I wasn't dead yet. I was in my late 50s, but I still had so much to offer, but didn't know even really where to start. So I leaned into my creativity because I had a box of supplies in my basement that I'd never used. And I figured it would both be a great way for me to help with the depression I was going through, but also be a way where I could potentially find something that I truly loved and could maybe eventually turn into a business. And that is eventually what happened. I found surface pattern design and I got completely hooked. And the reason I love surface pattern design is because it has this combination of working by hand, whether that's sketching or drawing or painting, and then taking advantage of the magic of Adobe Illustrator and turning that work into a repeating pattern that you can put on any product you can imagine. And I'd never heard of surface pattern design. You've probably never heard of it referred that way, but it's essentially, if you look around, anything that you see around you that has a pattern on it, whether it's a pillow on the couch that you're sitting on, the carpet under your feet, wallpaper that's in one of the rooms of your house, the duvet cover on your bed, and on and on and on. All of those are patterns that someone created as part of the surface pattern design industry. So I'm super passionate about it. I talk about it all the time. But the focus of this episode is really how did I then make the transition from leaning into my creativity, discovering something that I was super passionate about, but then translating that into a small but thriving entrepreneurial online business. And that's where these 3 business gurus come into play. So the first one is Amy Porterfield, and Amy Porterfield is the most warm-hearted, genuine, and generous online guru I have ever met. She has a fantastic podcast called the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast that I listen to religiously every single week. And her philosophy is really based in how to create assets in your business that you can then sell over and over again. Many people are either in the coaching space or they may be doing one-on-one lessons. And what she tries to get you to understand is this mindset shift between doing something that you can only do one at a time to creating an asset that you can actually provide to many people at the same time, which is what she does herself through her online courses. Now, I've taken both of her courses. I highly recommend both of them, but I especially recommend that if you're interested in starting a creative business, you are going to need to build an email list. And Amy has a phenomenal beginner's course called the List Builder Society. I'll leave a link for that below this video. And she has a free masterclass that is fantastic. And I am a big believer in education in general, but also implementing everything I learn in the education that I take. And she is very much of a step-by-step, take it in incremental steps. But if you follow her proven roadmap, you will have success. So she is my guru number 1. My guru number 2, and I don't really want to give them a 1, 2, 3 rating because they're all equally fabulous, but this next person I want to talk about is Jeff Walker. And Jeff Walker you can find at jeffwalker.com, just like you can find Amy at amyporterfield.com to learn more about them. But Jeff is famous in the online space as the launch guy. And what I mean by that is that he has been in the online business for over 25 years. And he has very humble beginnings. He's incredibly approachable, and he has a fantastic book called Launch that teaches you how to, once you have an asset or a service that you want to provide to people, how to launch it and how to go through a very proven methodology. It's like a blueprint. It's called the product launch formula. And if you follow it, it will bring you success in terms of both attracting the type of customer that you want, but then also helping them understand that what you have to offer is what they need. And he's super genuine. He does not do a podcast like Amy every single week, but he does do YouTube videos every single week that you can check out if you go to jeffwalker.com. His videos are super short. They're usually 7 or 8 minutes long, which is awesome. So very much bite-sized, manageable pieces of advice. And he's extremely down to earth. You will immediately understand kind of his overall philosophy, and he shares his advice every single week, and it's very much worth your time. So I would check that out. Then guru number 3 is Ryan Levesque. And Ryan Levesque now runs a huge and fast-growing company called the Ask Method Company. But he started out by having a very, very successful #1 best-selling book called Ask. And his whole philosophy is about how important it is, as you're growing your email list, to ask the people on your email list what it is that they want and need. And that may sound super obvious, but no one before Ryan really had a proven system for how to ask your audience what they want, and then how to then figure out, well, how are you then going to communicate with them and provide them value, not on a one-size-fits-all basis. I'll put a link below this video to both Jeff's book, Launch, and to Ryan's book, Ask, because they're fantastic reads, and they also contain incredibly valuable information. And if you follow them and implement their strategies, they really, really will help you if you want to either get started with a creative business or grow the creative business that you already have. I would not be where I am today in my business were it not for the support and the encouragement and also the amazingly valuable teaching that I have received from Amy, Jeff, and Ryan. So I want to give all 3 of them a huge shout out. And as I mentioned, if you're interested in starting a creative business or growing an existing creative business, they are 3 of the best people on the planet to learn from. As I always like to say in closing, I am Anne LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. If you enjoyed this broadcast, please hit the subscribe button and share it with your friends, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.